my brain is pretty mushy. It's kind of really knocking me down.
Oh, you're killing it.
But that's okay. That's okay. You know what I find interesting too, though, is when we do, sometimes we inadvertently introduce a character, Darth Vader, Harley Quinn, characters we may not necessarily have realized were going to become a big deal. And now suddenly we've got to retrofit things into their identities. Well, we just did it with the Joker, right? That no one, if you had told me 30 years ago they're going to do a movie just about the Joker, I would have been like, why? I wouldn't have got it in the way that now it's exciting. Hey, one of the great things, I've talked to you guys about this before, I'm telling you, that WandaVision show, it is incredible. And you know what? Not because it's about superheroes. It's incredible because it's about loss. It's about trauma.
It's the whole identity.
It's the whole identity thing, struggling. The Vision is not even like a Frankenstein monster. He's a synthetic creation. Right?
It's just the background of why it is the way that it is. That's the whole. You're thinking that the whole time you're watching the same thing. Like, this shit's crazy.
And it's just wonderful. And by the way, had you been a kid in the 70s and read those original comics with Wanda, with the Scarlet Witch and the Vision, they reward you for that in ways that are really, really wonderful. I thought it was just some of the best television of that year. You know, and look, we can go on and on and on and on and on. We can look at discovering one's identity, bringing this unexpected inheritance or this unexpected burden. We all know there's ones where they go, no one in your family lives beyond the age of 30 if they spent the night in Castle Blackmore, right? And they got, oh God, I got this thing hanging over me. So much of this, by the way, we can trace back to these things in the Bible. You know, as a text. Think about Joseph, Jacob and Esau, go trick the old man. Remember the one son he puts on the skin, so when his blind father reaches out, he'll think it's his son because it's hairy. The other kid loves it. Or Jesus, repeatedly Jesus had to leave because, they were going to kill all these babies. Moses, of course, the discovering, oh my God, who am I really? What are the ramifications of this? Judas turns on Jesus, not least of which because he's not doing what Judas wants. His expectation of the Messiah is to destroy Rome and to restore. And that's not. And Jesus keeps saying to him, "No, man, it ain't about the earth. It's about this." Interesting stuff. Let me see what time it is. Look at, I know we go back to superheroes a lot, but, if we do, we go back to Aquaman, right? Which has been fucked with somewhat. But basically, he's this trapped between two worlds. He doesn't really fit into either, right? And that was a thing in the comic book. That was a thing with Aquaman he preferred it in the ocean, but he was still this guy, and that led to so many issues. Look at the evolution of the Hulk. I've been watching a little bit of She-Hulk and She-Hulk Attorney at Law or whatever. But my wife, she doesn't get it, so I got to catch up on it. But, Bruce Banner, Dr. Banner, has had to learn to control and to basically live with the Hulk. And try to figure out who's who. And by the way, we can completely leave monsters, vampires, superheroes, all of it. And let's look at addiction. And not just in this region, it's everywhere now. It's so bad what it's doing. I have friends, their lives are just, it's just bad. But what can addiction do to a person's identity? It can erase it. It can
make them live altered egos.
live another life,
Yeah.
not reach their potential, and actually reach for destruction. You know, because of this thing through no fault of their own, which feeds really well into stuff like, you know, Bruce Banner and the Hulk. He can't help it. He was exposed to gamma rays, right? Trying to save somebody's life or something. Exposed to gamma rays. You know, it's not Spider-Man's fault that he got bit by a radioactive spider. But regardless of whose fault it is, what is dramatically interesting is navigating the new life that life has given you, that you I've got to go do this now. We never saw this coming. It'd be great if we could all just plan down to the letter what our lives are going to be, but it just isn't going to do what we want. But that does not negate the power of belief, the power of, you know, positive visualization. It's weird. That shit kind of works.
It does.
But it's odd because they're even proving through quantum physics there may be reasons why it happens.
Yeah, that's
But
right.
also it trains your brain to be positive,
Right.
and that's important. Positive people build, you get confidence in them.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
Plus, like I think you, like the characteristics you assign yourself is what makes you you. Like you build your character. That's why method actors can like completely change who they are.
Well, yeah, but also think about how many people do you grow up with, and for them, there are certain things that they just would. It's never going to happen for them. They decide that.
Right.
It's never going to buy Twitter. Okay, you know, I mean, I can sit here and positively think about it all I want, but I'm not going to buy Twitter. But I have worked and worked hard on my brain here to stay positive, because sometimes it's really difficult. Sometimes, you know, you get a classroom of like not cool people or not smart people, or, I'm telling you, I had a bad class a few years ago. I know I talk about it to you guys periodically. I mean, it was so hard just to come here, to have to put up with it. It was unbearable. And it's the only time I really had to put up with something like that. And, oh my God, I really just, you know, I just remember the one kid came in, he goes, I finally got her out of the friend zone. He deliberately got this girl who's still in high school pregnant so he could keep her. Oh, it ended so badly. It all just went so badly. Obviously, I could talk the whole 5 hours on this. We could go down myriad rabbit holes. But what we're trying to do right now is just start by raising awareness. So